Okay, Grinks. Somebody's here. Oh, she's going to come into. Well, when Priscilla's here, she's not coming into the frame yet. Okay. Yeah, maybe just leave her there and hopefully she doesn't turn on the background. Look at Priscilla. She doesn't know how to look in the wind at the camera. No reason to. All right. There she goes. Yeah, Fritzy is running around like she lost her mind and she wore herself out. She's sleeping somewhere now. Yeah, it was pretty funny. So we have the Mexican Congress UFO disclosure. If it's real or not, doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess it does and it doesn't, but either way, this shows a kind of where we're heading into more of. I mean, that'll happen here and there, but we already have like people walking around saying that they're Jesus. I'm not sure where they're walking. Well, anyway, but yeah, I would say the more the UFO stuff's going to start increasing, like certain individuals will feel like they came from the Pleiades. Not to say maybe they haven't been, but actually wandering the streets or whatever, telling everyone they came from another planet. And at least that's the energy I'm getting from this situation. Maybe it's best we're not there yet, but it's probably going to happen eventually. So is this thing real or not? I'm not going to go into that. Just it definitely looks like ET. Yeah, it's for them to do that. I mean, they're not covering up anything. They're not trying to cover up the whole Hunter Biden situation. So I'd say it's more. Yeah, it's kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't aware of anything like that before that happened. So I don't know. We'll see. We're coming into this. Yeah, it's part of this strange UFO direction we're going into. Of course, I imagine this is what people need to watch out for, though. I mean, imagine there are some alien gurus out there. They're part of the secret space program. They know everything. And they'll tell you exactly where that thing came from and all that. It's like, how the fuck do you know that? So that's what people need to watch out for. Not that many are really watching that well, but the so-called experts here and having some kind of bizarre relationship with Anki, some kind of romance novel relationship with him. It's like a joke. It really is. Yeah, mental illness at its finest hour. So, but yeah, this is still part of. I mean, believe it or not, either way, yeah, it has a positive energy to it, but definitely there's, it's bizarre. But it's not to say we're going to have like a bombardment of this in the future, but we'll see how things go for, especially this whole Hunter Biden thing. You wonder if they're probably not going to do a UAP thing. It looks like for the UAP situation, they're probably going to blame China or Russia that they're involved with that, because they're saying it's not aliens. So what the hell is it then? Who are you going to blame that on? So I don't think they've quite decided how they're going to go about it. At least that's the vibe I'm getting from it. So anyway, this is a good thing. It's weird. But then again, this whole alien stuff, that's how it shows what era we're going into. But it's similar to like the biblical times too. It's like, imagine, in the past they built all these like sculptures of biblical figures. Now it's the aliens. The aliens are now taking more of the mythology. So at least little by little. because people get downloads and they'll just get weird. So it doesn't mean the ships are going to land or anything like that. But I definitely picked up like eventually there'll be people walking around. I mean, obviously there's people now that feel like they're connected to alien groups, but there'll be others that'll be walking around trying to get worshipped and all that. You kind of see that already online. They're protecting themselves and probably some of the most hated people on the net and the spiritual community. I wonder why. But I imagine more alien coming out is coming eventually. They walk around from the Pleiades, or you guys can go to another level, or maybe they were like an Egyptian pharaoh in their past life or something like that. So we'll see how that goes. Entertainment for everyone. Also, Nazi expeditions, Egypt and Antarctica. So it's on Twitter. I'll probably should download the video somehow. But there's a video about showing some odd. Now, some might feel like it's fake, also, but it doesn't mean that it is, because they just hid a lot of this stuff. So we just know what's delivered to us when we're growing up. We just know what's in our environment, but there's a cover up. Of course people are going to say it's fake, but who knows what they hid. I mean, this is 1940s. How many are here have been around? And even then, if it's a cover up, you probably wouldn't have saw it anyway if you were in the 50s or 60s. So it's part of the disclosure energy also. Not that many would believe it. Not that it matters. So there's just a lot of strangeness out there. I know everybody wants to know I love it when some feel like they know it's the underground bases and all that, like they have it all figured out. How the fuck do you have it figured out? Is there a mental hospital down there? It's like, how would you, I mean, how are you still alive and how you be able to talk about this stuff publicly? But whatever, right? However that works. Just go, also the Pleiadian energies, just tap into their energy and just let's tap into all of this and see what their assessment is. So yeah, somewhat their cake and eat it, but either way, it's an adventure out there for sure. Well, it's getting interesting, that's for sure. Okay, I was having a comment for our sessions. Scheduler, I have a shop here. The webinar, social network, behind the scenes. Oops, doesn't matter. The other thing is there's a hurricane out there, and it's funny how it's not really saying anything. At least the vibe I'm getting from it's going to do what it's going to do. Anyway, so I don't know if this is one of those UFO whistleblowers. Is he crying about it? Another expert. Yeah, it is fascinating. I mean, even like you can have something real and people are not going to believe it. So it's quite interesting, though. I mean, it said it has babies in it. At least one of them does. I mean, you definitely see beings like that for sure. I mean, it does look like a version of a gray. But either way, nevertheless, it's fascinating. You probably will never know the true story on that one. Either way, it's good. It's something different in life. Here's the other. That's me. Yeah, so it's some kind of saucer Egyptian. I guess that's Egyptian also. It was like something from the movie. That's some kind of creature. Some of these things look like Cthulhu. Obviously, that's Antarctica. Never know. There's some realism here somewhere. That's what they call it, a cover up. really wouldn't doubt it. I don't know about that pyramid, though. That's interesting. Well, the reason why you don't see this stuff is because obviously they kept it quiet. So it doesn't mean it's not real. So, you know, you never know. um, yeah, this is definitely some interesting times. Yeah, with the Mexican UFO, that probably just people have been talking about that probably forever now. But yeah, it's probably not much new you can come out of it. I mean, you're going to hear both sides of it. It's real, it's not real, but either way, it's still part of our what we're heading into. All right, so oh, that's right, the hurricane energy. I guess the hurricane is going to at least somebody said it might hit Cape Cod, and ouch, that's going to hurt. So it's not really saying anything right now, but yeah, I guess we know by Saturday where that sucker is going. It's not pretty though. Okay, all right, we'll go into uh, Mexican UFO energies and Nazi Antarctica and Pleiadian frequencies. So, all right, blessings. Greeks, this is zeta gray frequencies. As for this alien artifact, yes, it's up to you to believe what you want. There are beings like this that do exist. And you can say also this has been seen by several individuals on their planet. Actually, South America. Not much in Mexico. Of course, yeah, more in South America. So there's a lot of portals there, as some of you are aware of. You see the elongated head beings, but also, yes, elongated head beings. There are those that are human and non-human, but it's basically your ancestors when it comes down to it. And there's different types of humans in your past, and yes, they've been erased from history. So as for this Mexican connection, yeah, humans have a long ways to go. As for bringing in this information, they still have a lot to heal within themselves. So they're easily mind controlled, as some of you have noticed. So releasing that is not easy. But with this type of alien energy, it is opening up many eyes to what is unknown. It is a test for society too, to see where you are. And obviously men are pushing back on it. But it is in the inevitable for more of this energy to connect with your society. This is your future, eventually. Now, for the Mexican Congress to do this, they feel it's real, and they feel like this needs to be part of society. And there is a lot of agendas behind it, but it's also just to bring some kind of awakening here. And a lot of them do not want war. Obviously, you go into the United States, there's a lot of war on all levels, even in the spiritual communities. So, yes, you heal the war, you get more truth. Obviously, that's not happening. The U.S. is under attack, as some of you have noticed, just because of what it's capable of. Not necessarily for its military, but just that society is being divided by design. I mean, literally, if the U.S. was more or less divided, it'd become a powerful energy source, not for weapons or anything, but just for your awakening into the next level of your reality, for the higher fourth dimensions. Obviously, it's not there at this time, but it is kind of a leader of the world in some ways. Obviously, it's going through a lot. It's just going through massive energy attacks, and so, but it is there is an awakening occurring there, though. But once again, as for the UFO energy that you're seeing there, the three bodies or two bodies, three bodies. That's up for you to decide. Yes, it doesn't matter if you believe it is real or not. It's there. It's not going anywhere. And doesn't mean there will be something similar to that in the future. But yeah, society has to get over itself too. Because once these beings start appearing here physically, it's going to be a whole different world there. And a lot of those beings will not survive here. Because most likely people will kill them, as you know. And they know that too. So it's probably best it happens this way. Because people will be scared of them and what to do. And obviously, you're hearing about all this alien disclosure, but no real, like, people see these aliens, but there's no real evidence of it. They say they might kill the alien, but you're not seeing it. So even if you did, people probably wouldn't believe it anyway. But you're kind of going into that phase. Not that you'll have like a dead alien there to show off, because that would be similar to the Sasquatch energies. But yeah, it's just like your new normal. And will continue to increase. Well, once again, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. So, greetings. This is Antarctica energies and the Nazi revelations. Yes, the artifacts from Egypt. Yes, of course, you're not going to be. Yes, this is not. This is, yes, private. There are many private collections. Not a lot of them, but a decent amount that will probably never be seen publicly. So it's nice for humans to awaken to all. Yeah, it's going to be kept quiet for obvious reasons. But this is not fiction either. Yeah, there is a lot of strange things out there, as some of you probably know, especially through is it your archaeologists that are, or some will know that there's a lot of archaeology kept quiet. You don't really see much in the news or anything like that, for obvious reasons. Archaeology is just like mainstream archaeology is just like mainstream media. It's all just watered down. Well, obviously, but our mainstream archaeology, they are finding things here they're probably never show you. Well, at least that's, yes, a little bit outside the timeline they want to sell you. Now, is your world ready for this? You can say yes, but others say no. Well, they're still trying to figure this stuff out too. Like, they're trying to call in some of these alien beings from those artifacts, and they're not getting anywhere. So, and there's a lot of actually artifacts that are found in Africa that are not, obviously, but they're not going to make public for obvious reasons. So yeah, you do your own energy work, you could say. But the archaeology, and for those of you who have clear energy, not many do. Some feel like they know everything, or some are just skeptical about everything. But that's okay. You can be skeptical, and yeah, there's some realities are best probably just to stay out of anyway. But some of you that can see some of this energy, yeah, obviously there's a lot of cover-ups. We can also connect to it through remote viewing or through astral, or however you would call it. But yes, there is a lot of this is going to be kept quiet for various different reasons. Well, think about the wealthy. They're not going to show this. You know, when they have like these artifacts that are extremely rare, very bizarre, why would they show that to the public? What does it for them? What is it for them? Nothing. I mean, they want knowledge that's beyond your reality. They're going to keep it for themselves. Now, does this help them? No. But for their ego's sake, it does. Well, they're trying to they're trying to call in these beings. It doesn't mean they're always of a positive nature. That's the other thing. You have some of these artifacts, and yes, It's kind of like, yeah, a device that can connect to their world, but doesn't exactly have the best vibrations around it. Obviously, some of you are aware of the reptilian presence here, and it's not just reptilians. There are various strange anomalies that are here. So, and those alien beings that don't really want to be known by name have their people here incarnated and confusing society constantly. So, something else to think about there. Greetings, we have the Pleiadians. Well, yes, it's up to you to connect to the strange side of yourself, strange side of this reality. Yes, it's going to get more bizarre as you go forward. In increments, it's not going to happen all at once. Yes, most of the public will not believe in these things. Does it help them evolve at all? Probably not, no. But for some of you, it does. For some of you are connected to sacred timelines, as you know, and you don't need anybody to tell you anything. You know, there's a realism to all of this somewhere, in some form or another. You might not be able to figure it all out. For those skeptics, are just, they want solid evidence. They want it in their hand. They want this. They want that. They probably want the lottery numbers. They want true love, which they probably can't find. So yeah, there's a lot of some skeptic energies have like a lot of hatred within themselves. They can't seem to release it. They don't know why. And that is sometimes, not always, involved with reptilian tampering. Like, there's mind control there. Do you want power? Do you want to just be an average person? We can make you into a god, though. So it's like a little bit of a fight there. It's like, so if I'm a skeptic about all this, do I gain power with that? Yes, you can. So either way, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, as some of you know. As for the Nazi energies, of course, yes, there's a great deal more of that out there, obvious too. Even the Nazis themselves, they're just scratching their heads. Is this real? Is this, they themselves find these things and say, is this real? It's like, it's too crazy. And obviously, with the Tartarian energies, there's been histories kept away from you. And there's much more. Atlantis has been kept away from you, as you can see. Of course, everyone's connected to their own version of it, which is nothing wrong with it. When you feel like you're the only one that has all the knowledge and people have to come to you, that's where a lot of manipulation comes in. Well, of course, that's up to you. There's a lot of beings that incarnate here to cause confusion. Some of those are archon beings, just to continue the physical realms, but also for their enjoyment. As they see as humans as like, it's like mice in a maze, and the archon beings are one pushing them around and screwing around with the timelines and everything, and getting a joy out of it. And they're warning also. So basically your world would be a much different if you clear out much of the confusion here. As you can see, there's always different points of view, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you clear out the confusion, it'd be easier to connect, have a sharper reality. But overall, though, some of you are tapping into more of the true realities that are occurring here, and it's it's a battle. But as long as you keep your vibrations clear, and how many of you are trying to get people to believe you? Do you even want the attention? So it's similar to the artifacts. Like, do we care about anybody believes? No. But if you connect to the energy of these artifacts, of that alien being, and so on, that's all that matters. Is your journey. The rest of the world, yes, who cares? It's going to do what it needs to do. It's going to run around and be angry all the time, or whatever it has to do, or know everything. It has some issues. Yeah, it has, it's good to feel that way. It makes you feel nice when you feel like you know everything. There's a great deal of that. Fuels the ego. It's been going on for thousands of years. Why should it end here? So, but for your earth to finally find peace, which can happen. There's a journey there. Now, some might find that boring, and some of you might find it about time. Sometimes boring is better than chaotic nonsense, because that is getting old for many of you, as you can see. So,